The tag team American Starship with Dan Spivey.
Now, me and Danny was the thing where they put us together and we didn't know each other. And we don't know each other that well now. We never really hung out before or since. And, I don't have anything against Danny. He's a great guy.
Right.
But we just didn't click.
What was the gimmick? I mean, American Starship, you're Starship Coyote,
right.
Which would years later you end up with a Wolfpack. So,
yeah.
I mean, there's a genesis there, but he was American Starship Eagle. What is American Starship?
I don't know.
Sounds great. What is it?
I have no idea. That's Dusty.
Yeah.
We were going to see, now Dusty was still booked in Florida. And I often wonder, looking back, had he not left, what would have happened? Because we were going to be his road warriors.
Right.
Two big muscle heads. That's what somebody did with the Warriors, just took two guys and
right.
pushed them, and it worked. So Dusty was going to do that. Now, had we been in Florida under Dusty's thing, it would have been a whole different deal, but it didn't happen.
So you didn't really know Dan Spivey. How was it like going down the road with you guys? I mean, he's a pretty salty guy. No BS.
No,
if you mess with Spivey, he's probably going to duke you out.
Danny's a big badass, and he had a lot of success in Japan. He kind of liked that style better. He wasn't real happy with the decision to move from Charlotte. It was all me.
Right.
Begging Dusty to hook me up with Harley so I could go there. Because I wanted to be in the ring every day. Danny would rather take the 200 a night and work once a week. And I'm thinking, no, I'd rather work every night. And I was more interested in being a single wrestler anyway.
Because for me, it's always a liability factor. Down,
right.
Dude, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Or you just wanted a spotlight on you.
I think I probably wanted the spotlight on me.
Right.
If I'm going to make it, no one ever breaks in to work their way to the middle. I had dreams of being a big star and being a single guy.
So somewhere along the way, you impressed Nick Bockwinkel and Larry Zbyszko, and you head up to the AWA.
I actually crossed paths with Jack Lanza in St. Louis because they used to bring guys in from the AWA, from Charlotte, and from Dallas to run big shows in St. Louis. And the opening match guys would be the Kansas City crew. We would drive in, be the opening matches, and leave. So I'm in the locker room, and Lanza looks at me and he goes, "Hey, kid, you ready to make a move?" And I said, "No, sir, I'm not ready." And he goes, "Everybody's the shits when they start." And I said, in that case, I'm ready. So he took me, and that was the beginning of my AWA run.
How long did it take you to come up with the Magnum?
Actually, at that time, I got so much heat for that. Lord James Blears. Lord James Blears was the announcer.
Yeah.
At this time, now Barry has left Charlotte, where he was getting a big babyface shove. He left because he wasn't happy with the terms. And they brought Magnum in, and they had to hotshot Magnum.
Right.
Because Barry was getting mega pushed.
Right.
And he just left. I was with him. He got his check. We were in the parking lot.
Right.
I'm riding with him. He looks at his check, and he went, pfft. And he went right inside, and he gave his notice.
Dude, that's so Barry Windham.
And then he came back out, and I said, "Fuck, I'm going to wait here. I don't want this heat, I'm going to wait out here, brother." And he went in, and he came back, and he goes, "Well, hell, he told me not to worry about 2 weeks. I'm out of here now." And he went right to Vince.
Really?
Yeah. Now, Rotundo gave us notice and went in, and they did the U.S. Express or whatever. Rotundo did what he had to do, but
Barry was, second generation guy, hardcore business guy, to me, one of the greatest of all time. I don't like the pay, I'm out.
He's not a mark about it. He don't care about belts and stuff like that. No, this is pro wrestling.
Right.
Pro meaning get paid. Meanwhile, they're hot-shotting Magnum to try to make up for this void for Barry. So it's Magnum. And at the same time, now this Lord James Blears, we're wrestling in the Showboat Casino in Las Vegas. By the way, the big drawing card at the Showboat is they have bowling alleys.
Right.
That's kind of the place it is. Nothing against bowling. And this guy lives in Hawaii. We're in there filming Magnum TA back there then. So the guy sees Selleck around town. He comments, "Oh, he looks like that's Magnum's guy." I have no idea this is going on. This is the commentator saying.
Yeah.
I never said it on the interview. I never claimed that character.
Right.
So it's right away heat with TA.
Right.
I remember years later when I came into work trying to get a job as like Scott Hall in WCW, and Magnum was working in the office. He goes, "Yeah, we can probably give you a look. Of course, you're going to have to get your own identity." And I remember thinking, "Yes, sir." Like, whatever.
How long did you work as a singles before you tag up with Curt Hennig?
Well, when I got to Minneapolis, that's when the first time I worked for a big company that kind of knew what they were doing. And
now, how was that territory back then? Because when I got it, because TV was so regional back then, I caught the downside of the AWA.
Yeah, it was
high quality shit, but there was the heyday years when it was.
Well, and I came in right. I remember, I'll never forget one time wrestling in Chicago at the Rosemont, and it was nearly full. Now, I've never been in front of a crowd that big. I've been wrestling in front of 50 people in bumfuck Kansas.
Right.
And I'll never forget the Freebirds were there, and I'm a huge Freebird fan. And Michael Hayes goes, "Man, we're out of here. This place is dead." And I'm thinking, whoa. And the houses were going down. They were still big houses to me.
Right.
But they were going down.
Right.
Now, they put me with Hennig because Hennig was such a great performer, and I wasn't. And they liked how I looked. So Curt would cell tag me, I'd pin the guy.
Right.
You know, that's what they were doing. And it was working. People were yelling from the aisleway, like, oh, get a new partner, Hennig's holding you down. I was going, no, he's not.
They don't understand what
propping
he's
me
doing. Go back 15 seconds. You talked about the Freebirds, Michael Hayes, Bam Bam Gordy, and Buddy Jack Roberts. Hall of Fame material or not?
Definitely. If it doesn't happen this year, if it doesn't happen in Dallas,
I said
my
the same
God.
thing.
I'll never forget one time, we're doing TV in Atlantic City. It's ESPN, so this is national exposure for me. These guys don't care who this big muscle. A lot of the guys are, this guy's getting a push, he can't do anything. A lot of that going on. It's not my fault.
Right.
But I'm happy about it.
Yeah.
But the birds aren't marks. They don't care. Their job is to make the kid look good. Okay. It was a 6-man, me, Slaughter, and Hennig against the birds.
Yeah.
So I'm in with Buddy. He goes, block the slam me.
Right.
Because I don't know anything.
Right.
And I get him
Still.
here. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And as I'm here, he goes, watch for Michael. Because if he didn't say that, I wouldn't have known. Because I'd have been standing there filling space, and Michael's been like running in place, waiting, slam me. So I slammed him, boom. He came fed right in, boom. Now, and I'm here. He goes, watch for Terry. Boom. Here comes Terry. Boom. Now, I mean, back in the day, 3 slams in a row.
On the Freebirds?
Woo.
Yeah.
I'm marked out now thinking about it.
Yeah.
And I'm firing and stuff, and Curt's on the apron going, Scott. And I look around, and he goes, tag Sarge. Sarge had gotten down off the apron and was sitting in the front row.
Really?
Like, you guys don't need me. And that's when I started learning, like, okay, not everybody's
with the program.
A lot of guys are cheering and going,
right.
I mean, it opened my eyes, like, oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, Sarge feels like we're competing for the thing. I'm thinking, no, man, you're here.
I mean, but dude, they came in, shined you up, and boom, he takes a powder, and he's sulking over there. Right. So, dude, how was it when all of a sudden you got a guy midway up? He said, "Watch for Michael, watch for Bam Bam." I mean, that had to be like light bulb going off, and like, you're about to have an orgasm.
Now I get to the point where I'm working with guys going, well, then is he going to feed?
Right.
You know, now you start expecting it. Vince doesn't allow that anymore.
Really?
That's what somebody told me, that if you watch tag matches now, you know how back in the day guys would feed, but bang.
Yeah.
I heard they can't do that anymore.
Oh, dude. And see, that's one of the big things. I was trying to talk with Edge and Christian about some of the nuances that are lost in today's tag team scene. And, not to rehash the entire conversation, but, cutting off the ring, using those tag ropes to choke somebody. You can't choke somebody anymore because it's not PC or just, everything that's happened in the past. But, dude, the whole thing, blind tag, false tag, turning that referee, getting some heat, using the top.
I remember when Shawn Michaels first broke up from the Rockers, and then Marty went on his way. So Shawn's a single wrestler as a heel by himself. And I'm traveling with him every day.
Right.
And, I've known him since Kansas City. And we got heat with everybody because we're getting pushed, and we don't care. I'd rather get along with everybody, but I really don't care. And so we're riding up and down the road, and I go, Shawn, can I ask you something, man? And I said, you're one of the best technical wrestlers out there. And now because you're heel, you just kick and punch? I said, no, man, it's your personality that makes you heel, not your moves. Like Nick Bockwinkel was a wrestling heel.
Right.
He would always wrestle, then he'd just use the ropes a little bit to gain the advantage. He'd go back and you go, you son of a...
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff I like. I remember me and Kev, when we were teaming as the Outsiders, we would always do false tag. And we would always cheat because we were popular. And we were acting like babyface.
Right.
But we cheated.
Yeah.
But, we were over because we were off Vince's TV. It was a weird time.
Yeah.
And you went through it with the whole, you were anti-babyface.
Shawn say when you told him, hey, so now you're a heel,
I went, no.
Did he go, oh, eyes open?
Yeah. And it was, I remember then I had to work against Shawn. They booked Razor versus Shawn in the Garden, and we're both heels. And I'm thinking, well, they're going to be with Shawn. He's like young pretty boy. And he's going, well, I'm not sure, but if they go with you, just act surprised. Like if they start to go Razor, he goes, because we were never going to the people.
Right.
I didn't like that. But if
hardly anybody did back then.
But you do the, I think it's way better.
Yeah.
Then they're watching you. We work them. But they came with me big, and it was like, I act like, But and then before the match, he went, well, how am I going to get you to sell? Because he came from that era when he's working with Warlord. Marty drop kicks him, Shawn drop kicks him. Double drop kick, he goes, And I said, punch me. And it was like all new to him, like, oh, God, somebody will sell for me.
Yeah,
big guy. And he's so stiff that you don't have much choice anyway. But
you mentioned the Rosemount Horizon. I was on a podcast talking with Edge and Christian, their favorite building to perform in, mine too, because the acoustics of that building and how crazy that crowd is. The Garden is special. Your favorite building to work in?
wow.
Everybody's got one.
You know, I don't know. The Rosemont's there. I would think the Garden. I had some special matches there. The last time I was in the Garden was a celebration they did for Hulk, but prior to that was the curtain call. So that place has always been special to me. I still wish that, gosh, I can't think of the recording artist's name now, but she sings that song, "Give Me One Reason to Stay Here."
Right.
And I'll turn right back around. I mean, that's what I wanted to walk to the ring to. I didn't want to leave there. I didn't want to leave. But I'll say this for Vince, he never sold. I mean, the buildings were sold out.
Right.
Kev's on top, I'm semi-main, and he's not selling.
I want to come to that here in just a little bit, because that was a big part of my career and a big part for the turning point of the business and guaranteed money.
Geico asks, how would you love a chance to save some money on insurance? Of course you would. And when it comes to great rates on insurance, Geico can help. Like with insurance for your car, truck, motorcycle, boat, and RV. Even help with homeowners or renters coverage. Plus, add an easy-to-use mobile app, available 24-hour roadside assistance, and more. And Geico is an easy choice. Switch today and see all the ways you could save. It's simple. Go to geico.com or contact your local agent today.
And working with Curt Hennig, what did you learn from that guy? One of the smartest cats in the business and one of the greatest workers of all time.
I agree. And I'm so amazed by Curt and influenced by him, because
he took me, when I first showed up in WWF, he took me into the production truck to meet Kevin Dunn. And dude, so I know.
He smartened me up about that. He taught me early on, always babyface the crew.
Right.
You know, always babyface the crew guys.
Right.
Because then it gets to the point where I'm doing something, I'll take the guy and I go, hey, is there any place I could stand there where you guys could shoot me better? And the guy goes, actually, if you move up a couple feet here and there and stuff like that. But Curt was so unselfish, because this is before guaranteed money. So as far as he knows, we're competing for the same job, top babyface. But he does all the work in the matches.
Right.
He always started the match because he said, no, we're going to get a pop just for you coming in. Now you want the big guy. Like, I always started again with Kev.
Yeah.
It's like, no, now you're going to get it.
Yeah.
And he did all those things. He always sold tag me. He was never a mark about that. And he's just, he got off on smartening people up.
Right.
You know, I mean, I remember he told me early on he would always grab the young guys and put them in the car. And always babyface and have them ride with him, stuff like that. And then he'd go, be nice to everybody. Never know who they turn out to be. He always had an angle on it.
Right.
But he was always, and you got to remember now, Shawn Michaels crossed paths with Curt then in AWA. And I think Curt influenced Shawn. It all came about, I think, like, if it's your night, like if you're going over, then you're going over, bro. It's not going to be, oh, I barely kick out. You're beating me, you're beating me.
Right.
Like, you're going to make a hell of a comeback, then beat me. Like, let's don't just, you know, I never understood guys who kick out on three. Like, oh, I almost didn't lose.
Right.
I never got that.
So you end up AWA for what, 4 or 5 years? 3 or 4?
Yeah, 3 maybe.
Cup of coffee in Puerto Rico.